Hey everybody, thanks for your patience. We're here now. The one and only Paul Stormberg. Finally, for the first time ever, I have Paul. We're face to face on it. And it is awesome. It's been a long weekend, hasn't it?
It has been a long weekend.
Yeah,
It's been great.
So you, hey, Tolly out there, thank you. Watched all three streams. Anybody else out there watching? Well, hello to you. But we had an interview with Heidi and Eric, a brief one, because they're keeping all the plates spinning right now, along with some great volunteers. Tolly, how's the audio? You'll have to let me know. The camera's a little bit further back because I wanted to get the Gygax Initiative banner and stuff like that. And of course, I'm sitting like that right in front of it. The helmet. That.
You're right there in between us.
The helmet right there in between us. And if you follow me on social media things, you have seen I actually got to wear the helmet. But that was a lot of fun. The Inner Seeker's still kind of. When does that stop?
I think you need a cure disease.
Oh, anyway, so yeah, here
It's been good.
it has been. A lot
We've
of fun.
gamed together. We played a lot of great games
We
together
have,
too.
we have game together. So let me tell you guys something. I have known Paul. I mean, known of Paul probably goes back to '98 when I bought my first AD&D books from you, getting back in. Known you as in I could walk up and talk to you for 20 years and been friends for about 25 years. I've been friends with you for about 22 or 23 years now.
Longer than some people have been alive.
Longer than some people have been alive. And I gotta tell you, hey Tim and Paul, I gotta tell you guys, there is a there's a kind of a sad and curious thing. I've gamed with Paul 7 times. 3 of those were yesterday. So
Yesterday,
yeah. So because LGGC, you played in a D&D game of mine. I played in a D&D game of yours.
Played a dastardly trick on me.
A dastardly trick on you, yes.
It was a beautiful piece of DMing, but
Yes, and then later that same weekend, I do pants to skeleton.
Indeed. So
Uh,
turnabout's fair play.
Turnabout is fair play. I guess one might say I got a boner in the face for that. But anyway,
That was a boner.
so yes, there was that, and we played chainmail and we jousted on stream.
Several times, yes.
But this weekend, I came down here. So like Saturday, I woke up Saturday morning literally moping. I knew that Paul said I might be able to get into chainmail or something. And I came down here literally just wandering around. Maybe I'll shoot some video. And Paul's like, Bill, come play a Viking. So
he had the beard, he had the ponytail, and he's a Viking.
Beard and ponytail, and we crossed the English.
Oh yes, you did.
It was perfect. It was a victory, but we
That's
won.
all right. That's the best kind of victory.
Yes, absolutely. More dead on the field, more meat for me. So I played in a great chainmail game. Almost immediately after that, we got into Dungeon, which
yeah.
I have filmed and shot pictures of the incredible Dungeon board. It's put away now, but trust me, guys, follow me, like and subscribe to the channel. You can get all that good stuff. And then we played Ghost Tower of Inverness and drove you right up the wall.
It was we even had some input from Alan Hammock, who you got on the show before.
Yes. I phoned a friend with Alan Hammock.
I put him up to it. It was not Bill's fault.
Yes.
I made him call Alan Hammock to ask him to solving the riddle.
And then
what was a clue?
A clue. He gave us. He could not hear us really well, and he told me this morning. It's like, well, yes. Even if I could have, I probably wouldn't have given you
A typical Alan answer. But when he came in, he said, I hope they all died of the poison gas. Well, I poisoned them 3 times with the gas, or technically you guys poisoned yourself with the gas.
I stated very specifically, I was not in that room when they got, I was like,
The third time, the second time, or the first time?
It was incredible because I'm like, okay, they touched the tiles, poison gas came out. Okay, what if we touch the tiles again? We sent the thief in after the second poisoning, and he confirmed that the tiles were trapped. And then we had somebody say, okay, but what if I touch the tiles again? You know what the definition of insanity is, folks? We saw it at the table last night, but it was a lot of fun, man. And it's been, and I thank you basically for fating me here in the room yesterday. You could have said, no, my signups are full. Go find something else
It was
to
the
do.
all Bill Sylvie show.
It was a ton of fun, and we get to see each other so rarely.
Yep.
Just
It was
just
a real treat.
being in the same room with the awesome Paul Stormberg. Now let me ask you something.
Sure.
And if this is not something you were talking to somebody sitting over there just the live stream.
Yes.
Is that is that anything that you can discuss?
Oh, sure. His name is Tom Laughlin.
Okay.
He worked in pre-press for TSR for years, and he basically took photos for catalogs, laid out catalogs, did marketing stuff, did a whole bunch of stuff. So, obviously I run the collector's trove, and I handle the collections of a lot of ex-TSR employees and artists, designers, secretaries, pre-press people now, apparently. And so he had a lot of beautiful photos of like the original pieces of art used on various TSR products.
So if you were like me and you got your gateway to adventure catalogs and flip through them, this was the fellow you were talking to.
He's one of the guys who put
Step
those
those
together.
up and shop those.
Right.
That is so fascinating. So you might have some of his stuff on the collector's trove.
That's right.
That is,
And I'm already starting to get some good stories from him too.
Oh, that is wonderful. The stories are the best. The stories are the best. Harold came over. We interviewed him, and that I was literally like, "Hey, come and sit and say hello," and it just turned into like almost an hour of Harold Johnson telling the tales out of school, and we absolutely love that. So,
well, I'm sorry that there was a delay. I was talking to Tom Laughlin. We were just kind of doing a little business, but I thought you filled the space nicely with Harold. Harold always fills lots of space when he talks.
when he talks. I have that on video. So
lots of volume. I mean, lots of talking volume. That's what I mean.
Sure, Paul. We'll talk later about a little messed up. But hey, Tim M. Holt, I see you out there. Hello. The X comments don't show up here on the YouTube feed, and I'm not at home. I've got my multiple monitors, so I just wanted to let Tim know that. Hello, Tim. But so I was down here yesterday. Obviously, chainmail, Ghost Tower, and Dungeon. What else did you run this week?
Well, I ran three I ran three chainmail games, which are just like the one you played.
Okay.
I call it Battle of the 100. People get to pick from three different armies, Europeans, Eurasians, or Vikings, and they use the chainmail point system to create an army of 100 points. And then they just we randomly make the terrain and they go at it and have battle. It's a very quick, fun thing to do. Had three of those. Had the big battle for the Brown Hill battle. Was the big fantasy.
Yes. I wish I'd gotten in on that, but that's a hot ticket.
I've been running that for maybe the last 9-10 years, and it's always sold out. It's always great.
Wow.
Great event. And that has the Dime Store monsters and the Elastin figures all thrown together in a big fantasy medieval mashup battle, and it's always great to play. But
I was just wondering if you're looking.
Oh, yes. Well, I'm very fortunate this year because I've had a super assistant this year, and that would be my lovely wife, Allison. There,
everybody. Allison Stormberg.
Thank you, dear. I could not have done it. I normally come up with a fellow named Kevin Maurice, but Kevin Maurice has taken a little bit of a step back, and my wife has just recently retired, so she's decided to help me out. And I couldn't have done it. You couldn't have played in all those great games if you didn't come up here. So
that is right. Thank you, Allison. But Battle of the Brown Hills. Any other AD&D than what you
I
ran
played
for us?
my Lost Crypts of the Fire Opal, which is based on the DMG
Oh, yeah.
sample dungeon.
I have.
And you
played
have
that.
played in
Yes.
I've been running that since 2005 or 2006.
Uh,
Every year I run it at Lake Geneva Gaming Convention was where I first ran it.
yeah.
And then I started running it at Gaming Cons. And
Then that means I must have been in the first one.
it
I
could
must
have been the first one. No,
If it was 06, then yes, I was in the first one.
it was in 05.
Okay.
And
So-
the players were Jim Ward and Ken Haylock and Greg Ellis and a couple of other guys. But Jim Ward at one point was getting bored with the first level character sneaking around.
Uh-oh.
And so he started taking every flammable thing in the dungeon. They came to a cave that was very full. So Jim started stacking up every pallet, every chair, throwing it into the room. This was the cheese room of the monastery, and it was exceptionally cold.
Right.
So he piles all this stuff in there, douses it with both of his flasks of oil. He's playing a magic user, throws his torch on it. There was a brown mold in there. It grew to fill approximately 1/3 of the entire dungeon, killing all of their characters.
Oh my gosh.
And that was my first experience playing D&D with Jim Ward,
Yes. Jim, now I've talked about
an
this.
agent of chaos.
An agent of chaos. I have talked about this before. Now Jim never admitted to this on the live streams I had him on, but I have heard many stories that if there was beer or pizza or a hot card game going, and somebody told Jim towards the end of his session, he would just say, you. Everybody roll a D6, and like on a 2 through 5, you died. If you rolled a 1, he said, congratulations, you survived the adventure.
And walk away to pizza and beer.
Just go off to the pizza and beer. That, so yes, Jim as Agent of Chaos sounds about right.
I think Rob Kuhn says he would always say surrender and die before he would charge and fast.
Surrender and die.
No, surrender and die.
Surrender and die. So
No options there.
yes. So fortunately, I don't think we had anybody like that. We were getting close, I think, towards 11 o'clock. We were just like, but we had a player come in. There's a room. I'm not going to spoil the adventure. You guys are going to have to play it. But there's a room with a puzzle in it, and it was like 10:05, 10:15. I didn't know how much more dungeon we had, and so there's these objects in there, and so there's some puzzling over them. I said, I run to the far side of the room. I cast pass wall on the iron door and start directing. Come on, keep moving.
And that's what it's for.
The Gordian, it's the Gordian knot that sometimes you just have to take your sword and slice.
And speaking of Jim Ward,
Yes.
One of the other ones I ran with the Mansion of Mad Professor Ludlow,
Yes.
which is where you all play Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts who are on a nighttime camp, come across the mysterious mansion of Mad Professor Ludlow, and they hear somebody yelling for help, and they go inside because they're good scouts. And they go to investigate and find out and see if they can help whoever's yelling. And then it turns out to be this zany supernatural dungeon crawl haunted house Scooby-Doo mystery sort of event that they go through while their 12-year-old kids are in terrible peril. So it makes a pretty shocking but hilarious juxtaposition between the little kids. And I think there's one room where they come in and the ceiling is open and there's a helicopter sitting there with the keys in. What do your 12-year-old boys do? Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's
pretty crazy, but it's a Jim Ward classic. It was originally published, I think it
Yes.
was in Dragon Magazine number 42, the Halloween issue for that year. I think it was probably 1980-ish, and a fantastic adventure. But that was one of the last adventures Jim worked on. He worked on it with me, and we released it at GaryCon for sort of his memorial. But unfortunately, I lost all of the covers for them, so I'm going to have to reprint those before I issue the next set of them. So,
well, I am looking forward to getting
yes,
on the copy.
you'll get your official Dungeon Delver copy.
I hope so. I hope so.
I mean, there's got to be some kickback for being the dungeon delver.
Hey, what good is all the respect without the moolah to back it up?
Or at least RPG products.
Or at least RPG. I just kind of equate the two in my head anymore these days.
I'd rather have the RPG product than the respect.
All things being equal,
Yeah.
But so on the serious tip, how are things with the IX Memorial Initiative?
Well, they've been going great. We had our first Dragon Days back in September of last year, and it was
that just the first?
Well, we had sort of a little test one. We called it Dragon Days 0.
Okay.
There was less than 500 people at it. We were just sort of testing how things would work because we were trying to make a citywide festival. So, coordinating with local merchants and vendors, the museum, the library, Horticultural Hall, American Legion Hall. We tried to coordinate with all of those things, and we've learned a lot of lessons. And then we were ready to scale it up for the 50th anniversary of D&D. We had Dragon Days 1, which had it had nearly so basically it's a citywide festival with a fantasy renaissance fair in the park.
Right.
There's author signings, greet and meets, storytelling in the library. Then at the museum, you can get into the museum. You can also go and learn to play D&D for the first time or play other role-playing games or war games at Horticultural Hall. We had the American Legion Hall open for gaming. And we even had the local theater open, so you could go watch D&D movies and D&D cartoons all day.
Nice. I would love to get up to that sometimes. You've been on the stream before and talked about it. God, it looks like a blast.
Yeah, it was really fun. We had about 1,000 paid adults and nearly 800 children, plus about another 900. So in total, it was about 2,800 people for our first full year of the festival. So it was a smashing success.
Yeah, I remember seeing. I shared it with the folks online. There was a picture, I think, just from your test. It did rain that.
It did. It poured rain every day, but on Saturday about 11 a.m. the sun came out, and everybody came out and enjoyed the festival for the afternoon, and then came back on Sunday, and it saved the whole festival.
Yeah,
it was like puddles of rain in the park. And my dear wife was sitting there very close to a puddle in her rain jacket selling tickets.
Oh,
so I always appreciate her. She's very supportive of me. So
that's good. But some of the, I guess somebody got like a drone picture or something. Just massive stretch of tents that goes like all the way down to the far kind of, because the way the park, if you guys don't know in Geneva, it curves along the lake, but it narrows to a tapered point at one end. And I swear I saw a pavilion tent under the trees down in that entrance. You had the whole town going, and then the next last most recent, I promise I English good. I English good.
Good, do ya?
Photos of the next were just phenomenal. And you've had people from as far away as Japan.
Yes.
Come to
Japan, France. One guy called me from France and said, "Oh, this is Ivan. I will be at your festival." He said, "I don't know when I get in, but is there a place for me to stay?" And I was like, "Well, sure. I guess you can stay with me." But he actually ended up staying with Harold Johnson. He was like, "Harold Johnson, he's like a legend. He worked for TSI." So, but this guy came all the way from France. And then on Sunday afternoon, out of the blue, he's out there raking up hay in the park with us after having traveled clear across the country.
Wow.
And what a great guy. But he took out a player's handbook and he pointed to me on the player's handbook, which was the French player's handbook. And down in the bottom, it had P.O. Box 756, Lake Geneva. He said, "Oh, this is why." Because when I was a little kid, I looked at this address and thought of this magical place called Lake. And it was where all of my childhood happiness. I said, "This is."
And you know what, Paul? I'm right there with him.
Yeah.
I'm right there shoulder to shoulder with him.
And so it's about time that this city celebrates this greater creation of fantasy in the world, created by the creation of Dungeons and Dragons, all of the fantasy and science fiction books Gary published, the magazines, the cartoons. it all came out of here. Even Gen Con came out of here. All of those creations came out of here.
Yeah.
And, the games that came out of here, millions of people have played the games that have come out of here.
Mhm.
Tens of millions of people have played Dungeons and Dragons that came out of here. Hundreds of millions of people have read the fantasy fiction that came out of this little town. I mean, over 360 novels were published out of this little town.
Yeah.
I don't know there's a lot of towns in the world that can say, yeah, but there was a company in our town that published 360 novels from fantasy authors all over the world.
If you want to get technical and talk about this place as being the genesis of it, a hugely successful children's cartoon show.
Yeah, exactly.
Here.
Millions of people. I mean, it beat out Smurfs occasionally.
Yeah, and that hey, you might laugh out there, but that is
Smurfs was really big.
that is some serious mojo back for the 1980s TV.
So anyways, that is just one of our initiatives. And of course, one of the missions of the Guy Guys Memorial Fund is to bring attention to all of Gary's accomplishments in gaming and literature and just basically kind of changing the world in his own little way, which is why you and I are talking right now.
Exactly.
But that's what Dragon Days is for. Our next one is on October 4th and 5th. We're deep in planning for it, and it's going to be a great show. But ultimately, the whole purpose of this is to raise awareness so we can build a memorial. Now, in the next couple months, we're going to have the Kickstarter, and we're going to try to raise money so that we can build the actual memorial. And I think I've said this before on your show, but it is going to be a stone table down by the park where Gary used to sit and dream about becoming a fantasy author, with 2 stone benches on either side of the table, a bronze map of Greyhawk Castle, the first one he ever drew for the game, and Gary sitting down at one end pointing to the map.
With his hand out so you can put a die in it and let it roll out on the table.
That's right. And the map will be scaled so people can use their miniatures on it. We'll upload his original map and his original key for the map. And then we'll encourage other game masters to load their own keys up there so they can come back year after year and pilgrimage and play a game of D&D around Gary.
That's going to be so neat, and I can't wait to see that come to fruition. Even if I'm not going to be able to get up here, I think it's going to be just an awesome thing, and I'm excited. I get chills when I think about it, and that's not just the COVID I picked up at the airport on the way here, but.
Yeah, well, when people say, you say, well, we're building a memorial to Gary Gygax, they don't get very excited. But then you describe the map, players can gather around to sit at the table, and then they can put their miniatures on there, and then they can even have the game master roll his dice off of Gary's hand so Gary can help run the game for them. Then people get chills, and they're like, wow, that is really good. The sculptor that we have lined up, we've got 2 sculptors lined up for it. One of them said, I get about 1,000 commission requests every year. I turn, 99% down. He said, but when I saw this design, I thought it was a truly unique, interactive memorial. And he said, this one is special. So I want to.
Excellent. I personally think you might have gone with B2, but I'm just saying. But I mean, hey, who wants the pack-in module? We've all seen that. This is something right out of Gary's notebooks, and that's a hell of an important thing. So, that's weekend of the 4th, you said?
4th and 5th. Yes, 4th is Saturday.
4th and 5th.
We have a little bit of an opening ceremony on Friday evening for the people who are there early, and the mayor comes, and Heidi Gygax and Gary's widow and Ernie Gygax was in the last one. And sadly, we've lost Ernie. But one of the things we do is you can go to 330 Center Street and have a tour of the house. I've created a little video that you can watch that tells about the history of the house. And then I gave tours of the house. I had somewhere around 280 people come on tours through the house. There was a line down the sidewalk around the house at Dragon's last year, just waiting to do a tour. And Ernie came over and he sat down in Gary's office, and I found the same model typewriter that Gary used. And Ernie sat down with a postcard and typed out a little note: birthplace of D&D is where my father created. And that was the last time I saw it. Yeah, and so that little postcard still sits there at 330 Center Street, perched on the typewriter.
That
Very
is,
soft.
that is touching, dude.
Yeah.
You know, one of the reasons, like, when I started talking to people, you know, I think Darlene was the first person
Mhm.
they interviewed this show. And
Great
Jim
lady.
Ward, Skip Williams,
Yeah.
Alan Hammock,
Mhm.
to the point, Tracy Lesh, uh, so many TSR alums. It's and what the first person I ever interviewed was Gary. And of course, I haven't interviewed.
And that's a
Gary.
great interview. I love
I've-
listening to it.
Thank you. I uploaded the audio to YouTube. You guys can check it out on the channel. And any other stuff that I do. So click the subscribe button to find out about that. But you know, I interviewed Gary. I sat on that audio probably for 20 years before I ever did anything with it. And in sharing it with people and with interviewing again, Darlene and Tracy and Al and Heidi and so on and et cetera. After I had talked to Gary the first time, I said, you know what, Jim Rosloff he seems easy to get a hold of. So I sent an email to Jim Rosloff and he and I were back and forth again. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna call you someday. And before Dave Sutherland passed away, I can't remember if it was you, but somebody posted the Octium and said, hey, Dave Sutherland said anybody that wants to talk to him about DMs, here's his phone number. And I'm like, I'm going to call that guy someday.
Yeah.
The reason I do what I do is because someday needs to be right now. If you want to talk to the people who made the escape hatch from mundanity when we were kids, and maybe you're a kid now, relatively speaking, but you still love D&D. The reason you have it is them, and they deserve to be remembered. And so I go out there, I talk to them. Anybody from the TSR days, I get all the way up. I mean, Richard Witter's on. Richard did Magic the Gathering fourth edition, or these guys.
One day they'll be gone too.
and that I feel you, the memorial for Gary, you know, it's there's a YouTuber, fantastic channel called The History Guy, and he always punches things up at the end of his intro. He says, it's history that deserves to be remembered. Right. And this, what you're doing here, I know you guys can't see what I'm pointing at, but it's a map with pictures of Gary. The city of Lake Geneva there, this is history that deserves to be remembered. And you are doing such an incredible job. I mean, you know, hey, one angry North Korean missile and all my stuff is gone. You've got statues that archaeologists are going to be, you know, like, who was Gary Gygax? You know, they'll know, man. They'll know. So, you know, it is wonderful what you're doing, and it's wonderful what you do. And I just appreciate you, dude.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. I think that all of these people at TSR, I mean, I've seen the manuscripts and the things that have come into TSR submissions, and there was some sort of magic alchemy that happened, because some of the things that come in, you're just like, how did this ever get accepted as something? But when it came out the other end, after going through that magical alchemical process of the various designers and the artists and the editors all working together, put out this product, and then you get this thing that has become a beloved part of your life, like the dungeon board game that we played the other day. And just to know all the backstories, how that became.
Yes.
And so these people have given us a gift of gaming, and a gift that has made friendships and relationships and careers and made hope for some people. And, you know, some people say D&D saved my life. They didn't say that about checkers, right? Right. And so it's a gift that was given to us. And so we need to give it back by recognizing these people who were part of the whole thing.
Absolutely, unquestionably. And you are doing such a fantastic job. So I know you've got to you've got like a country mile of stuff here. You've got to get secured, and your lovely wife has been in the background laboring away. All this stuff.
He's busy being.
We had to ask her to put this stuff back. She was actually so busy. She was like, no. I'm like,
You're lucky your phone and your laptop didn't get put away.
I'm like, I'm lucky I'm
Where
not
did they go?
folded into a banker's box right now.
Bill.
Paul, how much is this worth? You know, hey,
Sidebar, but I just saw an episode. I think it's Henry Winkler's Dangerous History. But he said for a while between 1900 and 1910, people would mail their children through the U.S. Post Office.
Dear God.
Because if they were under 50 pounds, it was only 8 cents to send it 50 miles. So there was a story of a family that mailed a toddler to her grandma's house for the summer. And it only took a couple days for him to get to his grandma, but his grandma lived 73 miles away. And they show pictures of these mail carriers with these toddlers in their satchels.
That's what's
So look that up.
Look that up.
Or maybe we'll mail Bill to Gary Con and to EggCon next year.
That'll
That'll
be
be great.
EggCon next
Just
year.
have Connie mail you.
Knock a couple of holes in the box, stick some Coca-Cola and some a loaf of bread, a jar of peanut butter.
Sure, not Dr. Pepper.
And like not Dr. Pepper. But anyway, Paul, thank you so much for your
Thank you,
time
Bill.
today.
Great to see you. I so
Good to see you
enjoyed
too.
playing with you.
It was a ton of fun. And guys, this will probably be the last live stream. But Elizabeth had a comment. Yes, you will have to watch it, the whole thing from the beginning, list. But anyway, Elizabeth, excuse me.
The joust especially.
The joust especially. Anyway, so love you guys. I might one more time before I turn in and tell you guys about the insanity in Paul's game last night. But until then, everybody, be good. And I will be uploading the videos of stuff that I recorded versus live stream, like Heidi's joust, like when I talked to Jeff Easley earlier. So be good. And that's all for now from lovely Lake Geneva. Peace.